man, I am pumped for this one. We have the potential for a top 20 shootout in the Alamo Bowl as number 20 Texas takes on number 12 Washington. This has the makings to be one of the best bowl games of this entire postseason, and we are here to break down everything you need to know for this game and share our official prediction for who wins between the Longhorns and the Huskies. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We are so glad that you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. And of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. We have some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the country over there, including our new holiday special, guys, where for $29.99, you get every single postseason pick right from us directly to you. Every college football bowl game spread pick, every NFL playoff game spread pick, all combined into one package, one low price. We want you guys to go check it out. Sign up today. Not only to become a part of our GE Nation, but to win big along the way, because we guarantee you will win big with that holiday special. So let's just go ahead and dissect this game, guys. I mean, I am very, very excited for it. When I saw this game get released on Selection Sunday, I was pumped. I mean, two teams in the top 20, have great offenses, Big 12, Pac-12 showdown, a lot at stake for both of these programs. This is not just a meaningless bowl game. It's a pretty dang big one. And we'll start on offense, guys, for Texas, a team that's averaging over 35 points per game on the year, and obviously an offense that really took off in year two under Steve Sarkisian. 231 passing yards per game, 200 rushing yards per game. Pretty solid, pretty balanced, but the downside for this game, guys, is that Bijan Robinson, the star running back for Texas, a guy who rushed for over 1,500 yards and 18 touchdowns on the year, will be sitting out of this game in preparation for the NFL draft, and so will number 2 rusher Roschon Johnson, 554 yards and 5 touchdowns. So the top 2 rushers for Texas will not be playing in this game. That is a huge loss for them. So Quinn Ewers, the new quarterback for Texas, has to step up even more than he's already been asked to do. He threw for over 1,800 yards, 14 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions this year, so not a bad mark in his first year as a starter. Obviously, the potential is there, and Ewers will continue to develop and be a very, very good quarterback, but he's going to have to step up. Luckily for him, he has a pretty solid supporting cast. Xavier Worthy, 676 yards and 9 touchdowns. Jordan Whittington, over 600 yards and a touchdown on the year. He's got help at the wide receiver core. I think Texas, from the passing offense, should be just fine. They have scored at least 30 points, guys, in 9 of the 12 games they played. I know Robinson was a huge role and played a major role in many of those games, but I do have faith in Quinn Ewers and the Longhorns to be able to put up points on Washington. I certainly have faith in Washington being able to put up points on Texas, which is all the more reason I believe that we could be in store for a shootout in the Alamo Bowl. The Huskies, guys, 40.8 points per game with the number 1 passing attack in the country. Yes, Kalen DeBoer comes in year 1 at Washington and develops Washington into having the number 1 passing attack in the country as they average 376.7 passing yards per game, led by Michael Penix, the Indiana transfer quarterback who threw for over 4,300 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. What a year for the Huskies. And here's the crazy thing. Washington has not one, but 2 1,000-yard receivers. They have Rome Odunze, 1,088 yards, 7 touchdowns. They have Jalen McMillan, 1,040 yards, 8 touchdowns. So you have 2 1,000 yards receivers for Washington to go along with a 4,000-yard passer. This is a very dangerous passing attack that Texas has to be prepared for, and they certainly cannot disregard the run game either. Wayne Talapapa, 779 yards, 10 touchdowns on the year. The Huskies average 145 rushing yards per game, so they're not nearly as balanced as Texas. Clearly, the Huskies want to pass and pass often, but they're not so pass heavy. They're not fully air raid where that you can totally disregard the run. The Huskies do have that ability to beat you on the ground, and that just shows why they're one of the most dynamic offenses in the country. And it's amazing that they're able to do it in just year 1 with a brand new head coach. So you take a look at the defenses here. Texas is going to be in store for a big one. Texas is going to have to show up big time defensively to shut down this Washington offense, a Washington team that is hungry to get this bowl win. The good thing is the Longhorns defense has actually been pretty solid for the most part. 21.2 points per game, that's all they're allowing. 239 passing yards per game and 123 rushing yards per game. The biggest number you're looking at here is the secondary, giving up nearly 240 passing yards per game. How have they fared over the course of this year against solid quarterbacks? And the answer to that is not that good. They gave up 393 passing yards to Oklahoma State and Spencer Sanders, 331 passing yards to Texas Tech, 213 passing yards to Alabama, not a bad mark at all, 124 to TCU, not a bad mark at all, 329 passing yards to Kansas State. So comes and goes, but a couple games there where they got torched through the air against Kansas State, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. Two of those, Oklahoma State and Texas Tech, were losses for the Longhorns. So they're going to have to find a way to slow down Michael Penix and the passing attack. The secondary, guys, only has 9 interceptions on the year and is now facing arguably the best passing attack they've faced all season long. Texas is going to be without their star linebacker, DeMarvion Overshown, 95 tackles on the year and 4 sacks. So losing one of the best defensive players on the team, also sitting out for the NFL draft. So another huge loss for Texas. You lose your top 2 rushers. You lose arguably your top defensive player. It's obviously a huge, huge loss for the Longhorns, but luckily Overshown is not in the secondary. That would be a major area of concern. He's not in the secondary, so that helps Texas out a little bit. You look at Washington's defense, their defense hasn't been all that great. The dominant defense that we've seen in years past with Chris Peterson and Jimmy Lake and guys like that, it's not there this year. 26.3 points per game allowed, 242 passing yards per game, 127 rushing yards per game. The question is, can Quinn Ewers, who I expect to be relied on heavily in this game, can he exploit the Washington secondary, which hasn't been all that great? They gave up 358 passing yards to Washington State. They gave up 280 passing yards to Oregon, along with 312 rushing yards to the Ducks. They gave up 400 passing yards to Arizona, 315 passing yards to UCLA. Wildly inconsistent secondary for Washington, and when they have faced decent quarterbacks such as Cam Ward, Bo Nix, Jaden DeLoria, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, they have been torched through the air. The crazy thing is, the Huskies beat UCLA, and they were able to beat Oregon, and they were able to beat Washington State because the defense was able to overcome those things because of the offense. The offense was able to overcome it because of the defense. Defense was bad, offense overcame. It was fine. So obviously that's not the position that Kalen DeBoer wants to put his team in, but Washington has proven that they can overcome poor defensive performances, especially in the secondary. One thing to watch out for, though, is the Huskies do have a pretty good pass rush. 35 sacks on the year for Washington. If they can get after Quinn Ewers and force Texas into some second and third and long situations, it could be a long day for the Longhorns, no pun intended, and might not be pretty in the second half. Might be over by halftime if Washington can get them behind the chains consistently and then go convert on those turnovers or convert on those short yardage gains. So you take a look at the final analysis, guys. What's going to happen between Washington and Texas? I do think, despite the opt-outs, I wish both teams were at full strength. I wish Texas had Bijan Robinson. I wish this was going to be a fully healthy Texas team, all the players there. Same with Washington, head-to-head. I think it'd be fantastic. But even with the loss of Robinson, this should still be a very close game in San Antonio. Texas guys are looking for their 3rd Alamo Bowl victory in the last 4 years. They obviously missed out in 2020 and not go bowling last year as well. Washington is looking for their first 11-win season since 2016 when the Huskies made the college football playoffs. There's a lot at stake here on top of just being able to ride a lot of momentum over a quality opponent into the offseason into 2023. Ultimately, though, guys, I'm going with the Huskies. I've got to pick Washington in this game. I believe they own the quarterback edge with Michael Penix. Texas losing the running backs does hurt them a lot, probably more than people realize. I think both offenses are able to put points on the board, but all Washington needs is 1 or 2 stops and the offense to be able to convert off of those stops. If Washington can get up by double digits in this game, I don't see them relinquishing that victory. Give me the Huskies and Kalen DeBoer to go 11-2 in his first season in Seattle. The future looking very bright for Washington. Not a bad year for Texas, especially after missing out on the bowl game last year. But next year, the do-all be-all year for Steve Sarkisian in Austin. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including that holiday special over on thegridironexpert.com. Get every single postseason football pick, not just for college, but NFL as well, right here at the Gridiron Expert. Guaranteed big-time winnings for one low price, $29.99 over on our website. Go check it out. Link down in the description below. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.